It's always very tricky, very in a way, of course, exciting. But every weekend you get to, now it's a bit more unknown, you know, how you're going to stack up against the field. This is normally a track that is a bit more straightforward. People have a bit more information about a track like this. It has been on the calendar for a while. And of course, from our side, we are hoping to have a good weekend here.
We were losing a lot of lap time in the straights, which pushed us to retire the car. This was difficult to control until we actually understood now what went wrong. We understood, we fixed it. The thing that we have been focusing most in the last few days since we understood the engine issue was mostly the lack of performance on the Saturday, which again here I think we didn't manage things the way we should have had, and there was probably more performance in the car. So I'm confident that we'll be back to our level here in Barcelona.
Others have improved quite a bit in these high-speed circuits, such as Ferrari. I mean, Red Bull have always been good, and now we see Mercedes looking closer to the fight. So maybe a little less confident, but we don't know yet. You know, we've changed quite a few things on the car over the last few weeks, and we've not been to necessarily high-speed circuits for a while. So we'll kind of wait and see what we do over the next day of practice and see if we can get the car performing like it has done in the past in high-speed circuits. And then I'll be confident that we can. We should be able to fight. You know, like the whole season we've been strong. At every race, we've not had a bad weekend yet. So we're showing consistency, and that's also a good thing for us.
I think the last few years, the attendance and the excitement of the whole country towards Formula One has increased. Again, I don't know if to the levels of 2005, 2010 when he was fighting for the championship, but to a level that is really nice to see and gives us a lot of support and a really good mood not to come into the track.
I think we've had more than one issue in the last few races with the car, with the preparation and so on. We've been in the back foot, so I'm looking forward tremendously to get back to our level that we had just a few races ago, you know, and I believe that we can get back to that level.
We've been pretty strong in the last few weekends, obviously, and this will be another good test for everyone. I think a much more, let's say, traditional circuit in terms of, you know, a lot less curb riding, much smoother, a lot more high-speed cornering. So it'll be a good test for everybody.
I think after a number of difficult tracks, which are always really fun to drive, you know, Monaco, Montreal, some of the best tracks, Imola, it's going to be good coming back to Barcelona and Austria, Silverstone, more conventional circuits, and seeing where the pace of this car really trickles out. I think ourselves, McLaren, Ferrari have made some big strides towards Red Bull with this season, but we also know that they had challenging races in the bumpy tracks. So I think we're all sat here with anticipation of, you know, what if, are we making the gains that we expected and hoped for? I think come Thursday next week, we'll all have a better indication of how the rest of the season is going to pan out.
We're always adding pieces to the car, so small bits here and there, nothing major this weekend. But really positive to see we're making progress.
See, I think every race has been a kind of a surprise, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. So we have to wait and see. Canada was one of the best weekends for us, a little bit unexpected after two bad ones in Imola and Monaco. So it's one of those races that we know all very well. For us, for Carlos, for myself, you know, a lot more support in the grandstand. Family is coming, friends are coming, so a little bit extra motivation this weekend.
In confidence, I would say obviously the car is performing well. That's most exciting thing, and Canada is the things that have something for sure to learn, and but at the same time, positive thing was until then was pretty good race. So just keep what we're doing and keep improving our car to fight even more forward.
Good points, as a team. I think we really wanted that one, and it was great to capitalize on a weekend where I think the car was a little bit more competitive than it's been. Very different kind of track, this weekend and going into the next few weekends. Very high speed, long corners, long high speed corners. Canada, very low speed, short corners, long straights. So on paper, not what we want for our car, but I hope we can keep the momentum up and score some points this weekend.
Obviously Canada, we started from Friday practice, we were on the front foot and we continued that all through the weekend. So it's, yeah, we hadn't had one of those weekends in a long time, or I hadn't. So it was nice just to start good and end good. So yeah, we've obviously, I mean, the team's been great with updates, and I think the car has definitely made some steps forward. So I have confidence we can have more of those weekends in the next few and be there more consistently. So it was good for me, good for obviously the people who are pushing and know that I can do it. So yeah, personally as well, just to have a weekend like that, it was necessary, it was needed, and felt good for everyone.
Yeah, so I have 2 FP1s in the next 3 weekends, so really looking forward to getting back in the rhythm of things with Haas. My personal goal is, of course, just to keep improving myself, keep working on what I've identified as weak points when I drive in F1. And yeah, hopefully bring some data for the team as well, because of course FP1 that's the main goal of an FP1. But yeah, these are really useful sessions for me to prepare for the future.
Barcelona is probably the track where all teams have done most laps in the recent years. So it's gonna be a clear test to, confirm where the performance is at the minute. We know what to expect. We've done already quite a lot of races this season, and we know it's gonna be a tricky one for us on a more traditional track where all the cars going to be maxed out for everyone. So yeah, we expect a challenge, but we always welcome a challenge, and we're ready for it, and hopefully we can get the best out of that car and get close to the points.
I feel like it was an opportunity miss in Canada. I felt like it was one of them weekends where we were just always on pace at the right times throughout the weekend. Logan and myself, we were generally just hovering around that points area. The race was mixed, which kind of suits us. We tend to enjoy them kind of chaotic races, and unfortunately we just fell short with the incident. But a lot to be proud of. It shows as well that we're making a positive step forward with the car. Most of that has just been about taking the weight out of it, but it shows that it's working. And let's see, we don't have any upgrades this weekend. I think there's a few teams down the grid that do. So it'll be interesting to see where we play out.
Now we don't have any upgrades this weekend, but as you said, yes, it's a proving ground, for any teams in Formula One. The overall performance of the car is really a testing ground for all of us, and it's going to be interesting, to see exactly where we stand. It might be a difficult one, I think, if it's dry, if it's normal conditions, but there will be rain on Sunday, and that could bring opportunities like it did in Canada, and hopefully, we can maximize the potential of the car this weekend.
I felt, my best bet was to put the wet on. I didn't think, I thought it was going to be next to impossible to make it around the first lap on the intermediate, the way they felt on the laps to the grid. So honestly, it was just what we felt was right for us with the feeling we had with the car, and I think. Luckily, everyone else must have felt kind of similar to me on the intermediates, because the grip I had versus everyone else on the full wet was very big, and we had a very slow pit stop on from wets to inters, so that we lost all of the advantage that we had built, but it would have paid off with a normal pit stop. So it's extra annoying and frustrating to have such a slow pit stop when we're in a good position, but that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, I'm more than confident, I think, coming into this weekend, just because we went through a lot of things, like I mentioned already from the last race we did. Things was not feeling comfortable in my zone, and we made a lot of change on the car, just try to starting a bit more from scratch. And yeah, I'm sure this weekend is going to be a brand new start, and hopefully that I get my normal, let's say, confidence back, and then I can push the car a lot more to the limit than I was able to do in Montreal and Monaco.
It's hard to predict, because the thing is, it is so close. The margins are so small, but everyone is working flat out, to understand what's going on, why we are not hitting the targets. And like I said, it's fine margins. So again, with some new bits specifically for this race, we should be in a better place. Obviously, yeah, there has been quite a few things going on in the team in terms of for better future. So sometimes you might take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So that's part of the game. But I hope we're in better shape. That's all I can say.
You know, I'm in a good place with where I'm driving, especially in qualifying. Well, we have weight coming off the car this weekend, so that's obviously an automatic uplift, which is nice in the first one of the season. So I'm looking forward to that and trying to make the most of that. My only worry is that this isn't our best track. Certainly not in the past, but yeah, new year, new car. So hopefully we can find a better window with it and push ourselves further up the grid.